हो यो सिरिजमा चाहिँ हामीहरूले सुमनजीले र गोपालजीले मलाई बताए अनुसार नेपाल र हामीहरूको एउटा आध्यात्मिक यात्रा हैन हाम्रा पूर्वजहरूले गरेका आध्यात्मिक यात्राको अध्ययन हैन र त्यसमा आधारित छलफलहरू गर्ने भनेर सुरु गरिएको हो र मलाई यसमा सहभागी बनाउनु भयो। थ्याङ्क यू सो मच। र गएको हप्ता डाक्टर तिमीसिनाको प्रस्तुतिबाट धेरै महत्त्वपूर्ण र रोचक जानकारीहरू हामीहरूले आफ्नो इतिहासलाई अलिकति बुझ्नको लागि त्यहाँ जन्मेर मात्रै नहुने रहेछ, त्यसलाई अझै गहिरिएर अध्ययन नगरेसम्म त्यो हाम्रो चाहिँ नहुने रहेछ। अब हाम्रो कला हो, अब हाम्रो शास्त्र, हाम्रा भागवत गीता, भागवत पुराण, ती सबैभित्र कति महत्त्वपूर्ण सन्देशहरू, कति महत्त्वपूर्ण मन्थनहरू छन् भन्ने कुरा हामीहरूले त्यहाँ जन्मिएर मात्रै पर्याप्त नहुन्छ। म त्यही सिलसिलामा आजको यो हामीहरूको छलफल कार्यक्रम डाक्टर डिना बाङदेल माथि समर्पित गर्न चाहन्छु, किनभने हामीहरूको पुस्तामा कमसेकम उहाँले जतिको नेपाली कला, नेपाली धर्म, नेपालको यो एउटा एकदमै मौलिकतामा प्रवेश गरेर मन्थन गरेर त्यसबाट निचोड निकालेर त्यो अमृत सबैलाई बाँडेको उहाँले जतिको सशक्त र प्रभावकारी रूपमा सायदै कसैले गरेको थियो होला। त्यसकारण मेरो एकदमै प्रिय मित्र, मेरो बाल्यकालको साथी पनि हो, विवाकर उहाँको धर्मपति, अब सोलमेट होइन, तर बचपनको साथीको याद म गर्दैछु अहिले, किनभने मेरो पिताजी नेपालको पुरानो चिकित्सकहरू मध्येको कोही बक्सिन्थ्यो र डिनाको आमा नेपालको सायद पहिलो पुस्ताकै विदेशमा तालिम प्राप्त नर्स हुनुहुन्थ्यो र उहाँले नेपालमा आएर त्यति बेला एकदमै सुरुवाती अवस्थामा नेपालको स्वास्थ्य संरचनाहरू स्थापना हुने कालदेखि नै उहाँले विभिन्न पक्षबाट चाहिँ योगदान दिएर आएको नाताले मेरो बुवासँग धेरै हिमछिम र हाम्रो त त्यति बेला नेपालमा अलिकति पढे लेखेको, अब काठमाडौँको अर्बन समाजमा को नै थियो र त्यस कारणले उहाँसँग टाइम टाइममा भेट हुन्थ्यो। अनि डिना र हामी सँगसँगै हुर्किएको हो एक किसिमले। पछि हामी पछि गएर युनिभर्सिटी अफ विस्कन्सिन म्याडिसनमा मैले पिएचडी गर्ने बेलामा डिना चाहिँ त्यहाँ मास्टर्स इन साउथ एसियन स्टडिज गर्न आउँदाखेरि मैले फेरि एज एन एडल्ट परिचय गर्ने मौका पाएँ। र अब आजको प्रस्तुता डाक्टर सिमखडालाई परिचय गराउने र डिना बाङदेललाई परिचय गराउने अभिभार ममाथि जुन दिएको छ, यसलाई यथार्थमा यी दुई व्यक्तित्वले नेपाली कला, नेपाली इतिहास, नेपालको चाहिँ आइकोनोग्राफीमा यति धेरै योगदान दिनुभएको छ कि मलाई पुरै तपाईँको 2 घन्टै यसैमा चाहिँ नि मेरो पुरै बित्न सक्छ, जुन चाहिँ म गर्न चाहदिनँ होइन। र समग्रमा डिना बाङदेल नेपालको कलाको इतिहास र कला अध्ययनको इतिहासमा एउटा एकदमै महत्त्वपूर्ण योगदान भएको व्यक्ति हुनुहुन्छ, किनभने यसअघि नेपालको कला, नेपालको मौलिकतालाई गहिरोसँग अध्ययन गरेर त्यसलाई देश विदेशमा एउटा चेतना विस्तार गर्ने, अध्ययनशीलता विस्तार गर्ने सिलसिलामा प्राय हामीले विदेशीहरू नै बढी पाउने गर्थ्यौँ होइन। किनभने मैले सुरुमै भने कि हाम्रो आफ्नो संस्कृतिलाई हामीहरूले हाम्रै त हो नि भनेर एक किसिमले त्यसरी सोच्ने एउटा आदत अहिलेसम्म पनि छ र त्यो खासै अरू ठाउँमा पनि देखिन्छ होइन। तर डिनाले चाहिँ आफ्नो पारिवारिक इतिहास, अब प्रसिद्ध कलाकार लैनसिंह बाङदेलज्यूको घरानामा जन्मिएकी छोरी, फेरि दार्जिलिङको हावापानीले प्रभाव भएको, जसमा साहित्य कलामा असाध्यै धेरै लगन प्रवासी नेपालीहरूले गर्दाखेरि डिनाले जुन एक किसिमको घरायसी वातावरणबाट त्यसलाई अझै माझ्दै 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 अध्ययन गरेर संसारमा नेपाल र बुद्धिस्ट आइकोनोग्राफीको एउटा महापण्डित नै भएर साबित गरिन् मेरो साथीले, विभागको वाइफ। वी मिस हर अ लट। र नेपालमा डिनाको जस्तो मान्छेको भूमिका मैले अब छोटकरीमा भन्दाखेरि के हो भने कि यसभन्दा अघि नेपालको कला अध्ययन, नेपालको धार्मिक कला, आइकोनोग्राफी, बुद्धिज्मको चाहिँ बुद्धिस्ट कलाको बारेमा अध्ययन गर्दाखेरि विदेशीहरू बढी अगाडि भएको नाताले नेपाली कलाकारहरूले कतै न कतैबाट त्योसँग रिस्ता जोड्नको लागि, अपनत्व गर्नको लागि होइन र यो हामीबाट पनि सम्भव छ भनेर महसुस गर्नको लागि सायद अलि टाढेकै यात्रा थियो होला। तर डिना आइदिएपछि यो हाम्रो छोरीले उत्खनन गरेको, हाम्रो छोरीले हेरेको मैले पनि हेर्न सक्छु भनेपछि कतिपय नेपाली कलाकारहरूले डिनाको माध्यमबाट उनीहरूले संसारमा एउटा नयाँ किसिमले प्रस्तुत हुने मौका पाए के डिना बाङ्देलले। अब डिनालाई वी मिस हर अ लट। वी होप कि डिनाको फुटस्टेप्समा र डाक्टर सिमखडाको चाहिँ तालिमबाट पनि यति वर्षसम्म केही अरू नेपालीले हाम्रो कला जगतलाई फेरि त्यही किसिमको गम्भीर रूपमा अध्ययन गरेर नेपालीले नै नेपालको व्याख्या गर्ने एउटा हैसियत बनोस् भन्ने मेरो कामना छ। किनभने हामी सबैजना आजभोलि विज्ञान 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 भनेर हामी विज्ञानको पछि त छौँ। अहिले पनि तपाईँको कोरोना भाइरसमा विज्ञानकै तपाईँको खोजी भइराखेको छ। तर कला बिना हामी केही नै होइनौँ, हामी कल्पना बिना केही नै होइनौँ र हाम्रो परिचय भनेको कलामा नेपाल र संसारमै यसको एउटा विशिष्ट ठाउँ छ भन्ने कुरा मैले यहाँ भनिरहनु पर्दैन। आज डाक्टर सिमखडाले पनि त्यसको बारेमा केही बोल्नुहुन्छ। अब एकछिन डिनालाई हामी लेट्स से गुड बाई टु हर फर नाउ and we hope Dina's spirit is with us when we discuss today's thing. I mean, Dr. Shimkhada is somebody with a great deal of interest, investment, and accomplishment in the field of Nepali art, Nepali historiography, Nepali iconography. Himself is an artist and has. I was reading his resume, and it is a veritable encyclopedia of ideas and exchanges of ideas and a contribution to what makes us unique in South Asia and particularly in Nepal. उहाँले सानै उमेरदेखि हैन कलिलै उमेरदेखि राइजिङ नेपालदेखि लिएर अनेक नेपालको पत्रपत्रिकामा बरोदाबाट उहाँले MFA गरेर आइसके पछाडि लेख्न थाल्नु भएको यो सिलसिला अहिले पनि जारी छ. This is a person that has spent an entire lifetime thinking about Nepali art, thinking about Hindu iconography, thinking about the spiritual ties between the everyday and the higher order. And this person has represented Nepali and South Asian art and artistic ideas in the academic world of the United States, and has edited numerous books and journals and published. So, as I said, if I'm going to talk about Dina and Dr. Shimkhada, it's going to take me a very, very long time. So, without further ado, without further delay, Dr. Shimkhada is here today to talk to us about the concept of Samudramathan, which is a concept and a series of ideas that has been explored in Nepali, in Sanskrit scriptures, and including the Mahabharata. So the idea of manthan went well beyond South Asia as well, and influenced a lot of art and architecture in Indonesia and Southeast Asia as well. And it seems to me that this idea of manthan is like an onion. There are layers and layers and layers of meaning behind what is represented in this idea of Samudramathan. And so I will let Dr. Shimkhada peel the onion before us today. Thank you very much and enjoy the talk. All yours, Dr. Shimkhada.
Namaskar, everyone. Pailita, I have to thank Anupjit. You are very kind. You gave me more credit than I deserve. So again, I'm happy to see my Professor Bhai is here. So he will be helping me along the way because, you know, he is the authority when it comes to philosophy, Hindu foundations, and all that. So this has foundation in Hindu philosophy in a sense. So we are talking about the Hindu philosophy as well as art. How do we marry those two ideas, and how do we peel, as you say, you know, peel the onion and then get to the essence of truth. So the series of paintings that I'm going to show today, actually these illustrations come from a greatly illustrated manuscript of Bhagavata Purana. It is dated 1648, middle of the 17th century. But this is not from Nepal, but this comes from India. But the subject matter is Hinduism that applies to all the Hindus living everywhere in the world. So, you know, we are not talking about a geographic regional nationality. We're talking about ideas here. So I have been thinking about how do we understand art, you know, because art is something that we see, and philosophy is something we talk in abstract, right? And also the idea that whenever art is done, because it represents images of gods and goddesses, that is in visible form. And when we know the reality, the truth, the Brahman is often unseen, is unmanifest. And of course, then we always talk about Saguna Brahman or the Nirguna Brahman. So how do we understand art? Then obviously art has to represent a form of God, right? And if it is unseen, then how come that we see in art? Art has to be visible, right? So then we bring Brahman into Saguna form, right? That has a form. Now again, by my esteemed scholar here listening, and then please jump in and also help me along the way to define and to understand, make it more, you know, applicable to art, because, you know, every time we see art, because there's always a dichotomy between philosophy and that there is something that is visible that we see in temples or in a manuscript paintings like this. There are a lot of manuscripts, whether Buddhist, even Jains, the Hindu manuscripts, they have been illustrated. So how do we reconcile those two ideas? So that's basically, I'm going to first talk about just about few minutes, and then I'm going to show you the pictures, and then we can understand better that way. Now, see, there are always Saguna Brahman, we always hear that word, and then Nirguna Brahman, we hear that word, and what are those? And obviously, I don't need to define, because there are people who hear, they know exactly what we're talking about. Now, we are not speaking here of experiencing the blissful union with God achieved through yoga. We are talking about representing God in art, right? Especially in visual art, that is, you know, representing in terms of forms, colors, lines, all of those things are visible and done by human being. So how do we bring God, which is adrisya, unmanifest, into drisya? Because that's something we have to see, you know, bring it adrisya to drisya. And that is what done through the medium of art. That's where the art comes in to help to understand God. Now the artist brings that is something unseen into seen. Now the manifest aspect of Iswara is then Saguna, Brahman, right? I mean, would you agree, Thaneswar Bhai, which forms the main principle of Sankhya philosophy as theorized by Madhavacharya or the Ramadevacharya, who take Brahman as Ishtadevata with infinite attributes and forms. However, Ramanuja in his Vasishtha Advaita, I mean, obviously, the Bhai will be talking about Yoga Vasishtha in the next lectures, a series of lectures, and it goes one step further by including all minds and materials things constituting the bodies of Brahman. Saguna Brahman, even with the various forms and attributes, is immortal, imperishable, eternal, as clearly stated in the Bhagavad Gita. Personal forms of Saguna Brahman are indicated by various deities such as Narayana, Krishna, Shiva, and all forms of goddesses that we see every day. You know, whenever we go to Nepal, we go to any Hindu temples, we see all of them there. Now, while the Advaita of Adi Sankaracharya retains both Saguna and Nirguna Brahman, he considered the former to be merely illusionary. On the basis of an esoteric enlightened experience, he holds that only Nirguna Brahman is real. Everything is unreal, illusion or Maya. Now, we will examine the paintings of Samundramathan against this background. So I'm going to show you the whole series of paintings. And of course, there are 129 paintings. I'm not going to show all of them today. I'm just going to show you only those paintings that deal with the theme Samundramathan. So again, thank you for joining, and please feel free to interrupt whenever you have questions or you want to add anything to this. So that's how we are going to analyze the beautiful paintings that you're going to see in a few minutes. All right, the paintings that I'm going to show you today come from, as I told you, from the Bhagavata Purana, handwritten, hand-illustrated manuscript. It was painted in 1648 in a place called Mewar in Rajasthan, and from the appearance, from the colophon, everything else, it appears that this manuscript was a royal commission. Some great Maharaja of Mewar assembled a great deal of artists because some of the paintings have been identified by the names of the artists. Many of them were employed by the Mughal emperors in the Mughal court. So there are names like Sahabuddin, which is a Muslim name, and who appears many times in many illustrated manuscripts during the Mughal period. So we can see this is a great manuscript, and I was lucky enough to photograph all the paintings of this great manuscript in 1979 when I got a grant to go to India, Nepal to study for my PhD dissertation. And I have all the paintings, but now, unfortunately, the manuscript was destroyed by vandals in 2004. So that's one side note, and which is an unfortunate thing that happened. So let's not talk about that. So now then the Samundramathan is obviously a very popular theme in Hindu mythology. We find it in Bhagavata Purana, in Bhagavata, in Vishnu Purana, and many places like that. And the theme, the art as a theme has become very, very popular, not only in South Asia, but also Southeast Asia. And you go to Cambodia, in Angkor Wat, it is beautifully carved along these, along the temples. And there are a lot of places that have been carved. And I saw it when I was in, what is it called? Thailand, the international airport. Even in the terminal, there's a whole big diorama of Samundramathan, even in the airport. So that means, it is very, very popular, even in the, popular level. So anyway, so let me share the screen and show you a few paintings from Samundramathan and see, and please feel free to ask questions. Okay, what is it? So give me a moment. Can you see the slides, Sumanji?
Not yet. Can you share the screen?
Okay, what is it? Okay, this technology is always baffles me. When it works, it's beautiful. When it does not work, then it gives us a lot of, okay, share a screen.
And then you PowerPoint or desktop or.
Okay, I'm clicking on share a screen.
And then your screen will pop up, and then click on the picture or your PowerPoint.
I don't see PowerPoint here. I have a PowerPoint here, but not.
If you can send me the PowerPoint, I can run it for you.
Okay, then let me do that. Give me a moment.
It was running earlier, right? You go to share screen, and you will see something will pop up on your screen, and then highlight what you want to share.
Okay, it pops up, but then my slide is not there. So that's okay.
Can you email me the PowerPoint?
Yes, let me. Okay, then I will have to close and go to.
Dr. Shimkhada.
Yes.
So यसो गर्नुस् न तपाईको अहिलेको जुन जुम स्क्रिन छ नि जुम स्क्रिनलाई तपाईले एकैछिन मिनिमाइज गर्नुस् माथिको हो एकछिन मिनिमाइज गर्नुस् र तपाईले त्यो जुन तपाईको आफ्नो पावर पोइन्ट छ नि त्यो पावर पोइन्टमा डबल क्लिक गरेर पावर पोइन्ट हेर्नुस् स्क्रिनमा हैन किनभने तपाईको जुन त्यो शेयर स्क्रिन गर्दाखेरि तपाईलाई सबभन्दा पहिलो आइकन नै तपाईको चाहिँ तपाईले लास्ट हेरेको स्क्रिन दिन्छ के सो go click on your PowerPoint once and bring it up on your own personal screen, then go to share screen.
Okay, back to Zoom. Okay, let's see. All right, let me then send you. Who do I send it to? Sumanji or?
Yeah, you can send it to me. Actually, earlier we tried and we were able to see it.
Okay, it's coming up. All right. Okay, it is gone. Okay, it went through.
Okay, so let me just give me a minute.
Now, how will I get back to Zoom?
You are in Zoom.
I am.
Yeah, you can see you. Yeah. I got your presentation. I'll bring it up on the screen.
Okay.
Okay, we can see it now, everyone. Can you see it?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Now, how will I get back to Zoom? Okay,
Well,
let me.
we have minimized it, Dr. If you can just speak, we can see you. You have, so I have your first slide on.
होइन डाक्टर साहबले देख्न पर्यो नि त यो
ए उहाँको त्यो मिनिमाइज भएको छ कि कहाँ मिनिमाइज भयो?
Okay. All right.
भयो
Okay, let's go to the next screen. Next slide. Okay, are you controlling it or am I controlling it?
Yeah, I'm controlling it. Okay.
Okay, let's. All right. The Bhagavata Purana manuscript is 1648. It has obviously a lot of illustrations based on all the stories in the Bhagavata Purana, and I'm especially talking about the Samundramathan. So it is a cosmological tale of churning, and it is all obviously on cosmic scale because it talks about Samundra, ocean, Shir Sagar, which is milk. So the ocean of milk. So to churn, obviously we all know objects required for churning is, first of all, there has to be liquid, substance to be churned. And then of course it has to be in a container. The liquid has to be in a container, and we need a stick, a staff, a pole, and we need a rope. Okay, shall we go to the next one, please? Something like this. This is an old-fashioned churning tool, a pot, a stick with a rudder, and then a rope. Next, please. All right. So the objective is to transform something into a different thing, a product or better product, like cream, butter, which can only be obtained by churning. So we have to put efforts in order to churn, right? So, and then of course, let's go and see the next slide. This is obviously talking about churning yogurt into butter, the day-to-day thing. Now we are talking about churning the ocean of milk, so which is the theme of this talk. So I mean, there obviously the churning obviously comes in many forms. There is going to be public churning, obviously, is happening today, and the churning can be like a natural churning, brought by disasters, cyclone, hurricane, tsunami, earthquake, a volcanic eruption. There's also when the earth churns, when the atmosphere churns, it can cause all of these things. And of course, physical churning, I often get stomach churning and I get nauseated. Then it causes me to vomit. And obviously there is economic churning that causes in a stock market a rise and fall. And obviously political churning, what happened in Nepal and what is happening here. Okay, let's go to the next one. Now, the painting here is quarter-page painting. Now, there are some full-size paintings, occupying the entire folio, the whole page, and there are some quarter-size painting. There are some half-size paintings. Now you can see here, this is a smaller size painting, and I don't know whether you can see the entire picture here. On the left-hand side, you have these are the Danavas. These are the the asuras, the demons, what we call in demons, and that they are driving away gods. They are fleeing away because the gods lost their power, their vigor. They became weak when they're at their lowest point, when they're weak, and obviously the Danavas were able to defeat the gods. So they drove away gods from heaven, and then Danavas rule the heaven. And then what happens? Now, when gods became homeless, powerless, they went to Sri Brahmaji right on top. This gives you two stories on the same page. And on top, then you have, in the middle, you have Brahmaji seated. And then you have on both sides, you have the gods playing God Brahma, what happened to them. So they're asking for his help. And obviously Brahma does not intercept, does not, fight. And he said, well, I can only guide you, but I cannot engage in quarrels. I can engage in battles. For that, you'll have to go to our CEO, who is God Vishnu. So go to God Vishnu, and Vishnu will help you. So then next slide, please. Okay, the next, then I think I have already talked about this. Okay, here. And this is again a smaller size painting. Half-size painting is actually quarter-size painting. And here, all these gods, led by Brahma, they all go to God Vishnu. Vishnu is there, indicated by a temple. And the blue area in the foreground, that is nothing but the cosmic water. The ocean of milk, and there is darkness, there is nothing, and then the God apparently God Vishnu is there, but he cannot be seen. So he is adrisya, he is unmanifest. So all these gods, then they pray to Vishnu to appear. So next painting, please. And now here, the God Vishnu then appears in his full light with yellow, glowing like a sunlight, brilliant golden light. Then he appears, and everyone then bows down to Vishnu, and they tell Vishnu why they are there and their plight. And when Vishnu recognizes their plight, and then he says, all right, then you lost your power, so you need to regain your power. So how do you do that? In order to regain your power, your vitality, you need to drink Amrita. Not a 4 or 5 hour drink, not a monster drink, but not a Red Bull, but something like that. He said that gives you your lost vitality, your energy back. So you go and get that. And the question is, what is Amrita? How do we get Amrita? I said, well, it's not something that you go and get it. You have to work hard to bring Amrita from the bottom of the ocean. So you need to churn the ocean in order to derive Amrita. And then obviously gods are weak. They already lost their energy, and they found this to be a very monumental task. So how can we churn the ocean when we are at our lowest point? We do not have energy. We cannot do this. This is beyond us. And then Vishnu says, well, in that case, the next slide, please. And then you go to ask for help. Whoever has that power. Now, who has that power? The Danavas, the demons, who are now in power, because Bali sits in the throne of Indra. So go and ask for help. And then obviously Indra is there, right there, with the impressions of eyes all over his face. That's a different story. So He says, do you think the Danavas will give us help? Because they are our arch enemy, right? How can we ask an enemy to help us? Well, when you need it, so you will have to go and ask, and then make an offer, negotiate. If you make an offer, then maybe he will agree. And then Indra goes, followed by his companions, other gods, and then they negotiate, and then they put, Indra puts the proposal that I need your help, and then what is in it for us? Obviously, Bali asked for, in return, what is in it for us? Why shall we help you? And then obviously, well, the point is that we are going to churn Amrita, and Amrita, we are going to share Amrita with you. And Amrita, if you drink Amrita, that will make you immortal. And who does not want to be immortal? And then obviously he likes the idea, and then he agrees to the proposal, and then he accepts the proposal, and then they go to help to churn Amrita. And obviously, next slide, please. To churn Amrita, of course, we need implements. For a stick, the staff, the pole, they needed the highest mountain, which is Mount Mandara. And Mount Mandara is somewhere else, so they have to bring that Mount Mandara and lift it and bring it and put it in the middle of the ocean. And then that's what they do. And then obviously Mount Mandara was so huge, and then even the gods and the demons could not lift the mountain. So again, Vishnu has to intervene, and Vishnu has to intercept, and Vishnu helps to bring the mountain and puts in the middle of the ocean. And again, it has a story again within a story. Another story is that when the pole starts sinking down, and something is, because it's an abyss, bottomless ocean apparently. So then Vishnu has to again intervene, has to intercept to become a Kurma avatar. He takes Kurma avatar, tortoise, and then he goes down to hold the sinking Mount Mandara. So that's another story. So finally, so they have the mountain for a staff, but they need a rope. What is the rope? And then for rope, they needed a very sturdy, a very long rope. And obviously rope could not be found. So then Vishnu again offers, okay, you may use my Sheshanaga, which is endless Sheshanaga, Anantanaga. So anyway, so then next slide, please. All right, and then they bring Sheshanaga, and they wrap around the Mount Mandara right there in the middle. And there are two scenes at the same time. And if you look at it very carefully, here on the one on the left hand, you will see the Sheshanaga is been roped around the Mount Mandara, and then head is being held by gods right here, God Shiva, Indra, and Vishnu, and again Brahma. And here to your right hand side are the Danavas, headed by Bali right here, right? And in the next slide, you will see the whole thing is reversed, right? Now the gods are holding the tail, and then the demons are holding the head. Now here, what happened? There's a very ingenious story here. First of all, no one wanted to hold the head of the Sheshanaga. Obviously, Sheshanaga is supposed to have 1,000 heads, and of course, it's a venomous snake, serpent. It may, it may bite you. It may, it may kill you. So it is dangerous to hold a snake's head. So the gods did not want to hold the head to begin with. But again, God are very clever, obviously, and they had a caucus. They decided that, well, if we go ask the demons to hold the head, the demons are always, reversed, anti, and they will not agree to do that. So, so we have to play reverse psychology here. So let's tell them that we are the gods, so we deserve to hold the head of the Naga. So why don't you go and hold the tail? So this is how they did it. And obviously the demons got together and they said, why the gods want to hold the head, and maybe the Amrita is going to come out of the Naga's mouth or something. So they are clever. So we don't want to hold the tail. So we want to hold the head. And then obviously they decided that they wanted to hold the head. So this is how the gods played the trick and made them hold the head. So this is quite ingenious the way they did it. I can stop here and then we can have some discussions, any questions, and jump in. How this is done so ingeniously, in the story, and also look at the artist also has done it very effectively. How the roles have been switched in two paintings. Any discussion on this? I've got a few more paintings, so shall I simply go through the paintings, the story, and then we come back and then take up any of the segment of the story and
I think
discuss.
we should do that. Yeah.
All right. Okay, then let's go to the next one. Next, yes. And after a while, they churned, and it is said that they churned for 1,000 years, and then of course very wonderful things came out of the ocean. Then you have the six-headed winged horse, and then you also have the white elephant Airavata, and then each one is claimed by various gods. These are all wonderful things. Airavata was claimed by Indra, and Lakshmi also came from the ocean, from the bottom of the ocean, Lakshmi Shri, and of course Vishnu claimed Lakshmi, and so on and so forth. Next one. Now here, this is the six-headed horse, and yes, and the Kamadhenu also came out of the ocean, the wish-fulfilling cow, Kamadhenu, and this is the Uchastribas, the six-headed horse. It also has wings, but it does not show wings here. And this is the Airavata. All right, so next one, please. All right, and then at some point, before Amrita was obtained, was produced, the Kalakuta big, the poison, the deadly poison, the Kalakuta also came out of that ocean. And obviously when Kalakuta came, no one wanted to touch. It's a hot potato, it's a deadly poison, it's a nuclear weapon type of poison. So it was so deadly that no one but Shiva could handle it. And the Shiva volunteered to internalize the poison, the liquid poison, and so that he wanted to ingest the poison, so that it won't be out there, otherwise it will incinerate the entire world. So then when he decided to do that, and Parvati intervened. After all, she's his beloved wife, and she's concerned about her husband, even though she knows he is the great god, the Mahadeva, he can handle it, but still she is a little concerned. So she has a word with him. Do you think you should do this? And then he said, yes, for the benefit of mankind, for the benefit of the world, I have to do this. So then he volunteered to drink the Kalakuta. And when he did that, then he started turning blue, to his neck. And then Parvati immediately squeezed his neck so that the poison does not go in his body, and then his whole body will become blue. So that is why he earned the name Nilakantha, one with a blue throat. So this is that story. Very beautifully done. So let's go to the next one. And then finally, after all of these things came, after taking 1,000 years to churn, to bring out Amrita, that was their goal. And finally, Amrita did come. And when Dhanvantari carried the jar of Amrita, came out, and of course, the Danavas went after him, and of course, gods also went after him. And it was clear that Danavas were in power, very stronger. So they're going to, take the Amrita and then run away with that. So that should not happen. So then what shall we do? So the gods decided and then went to again Vishnu to intervene the situation. So the Vishnu then took the form of Mohini, Rohini or Mohini. The two different names are given. Then he became a enchanted, beautiful, seductive woman, and then she appeared in front of the Danavas. Oh, next slide, please. Now here, the one in the middle right there is Mohini or Rohini, and then these are the Danavas. Then she grabbed the jar of Amrita, and then she was so beautiful that these you can see, some of them are salivating, some of them are, the mouths are open, they're totally mesmerized by the beauty of Mohini. So they stopped chasing, they forgot what they were chasing after, and then that was the purpose. And then the Mohini succeeded in bewitching all the Danavas, and then she grabbed the pot of Amrita. And then next, and she said, all right, gentlemen, now you behave yourself, you circle around, sit down, and I will distribute Amrita. So everyone will get a chance to ingest Amrita. So please, have a seat and be quiet. And then when they did that, made a circle, as you can see here, and she's in the middle, and then she started distributing Amrita from you can imagine, starting with the gods, right? On one side you have gods, on the other side you have the Danavas. Next one, please. And then as she was distributing Amrita from the side of the gods, then Rahu, one of the Danavas, very smart guy, and he figured it out, the game. He knew that by the time she reaches the Danava's line, the Amrita would have been exhausted, would have been finished. So we will not get any drop of Amrita. So then how do I got to have that, even a drop of Amrita. So then he, with his power, with his magical power, these Danavas have magical powers, strength. So then he transformed into one of the gods, beautiful gods. And then he went and sat right between Surya and Chandra, right there, the one with the blue body, that's Rahu. And then Mohini, without realizing that was not God, she put one drop of Amrita in his mouth, and the moment he ingested, then Surya and Chandra realized he is not one of us. Then they told Mohini, well, that was not a god. You made a mistake. And then Mohini immediately, which actually Vishnu in reality, then she cut his head off. As you can see, the head is separated from his body. It's floating right here. And then when she did that, and obviously he had ingested one drop of Amrita, and his head became immortal. And then of course we know who Rahu is, right? Is the eclipse. And then he always hunts those two guys. He said, you were the ones who told on Mohini that I was a Rahu. Now I am going to come after you every, for eternity. And then of course, a moon and sun always, gets eclipse, and that is said to be Rahu. All right, this is a beautiful story right here. All right, and the next one, please. And now we can come to the next story, another story, which is actually not part of churning of the ocean of milk, Samundramathan, but still it is part of that, because Mohini, who was actually a Vishnu, but then she had put everyone in spell, in a sense, in illusion that she was a Mohini, a beautiful woman. And little later on, Shiva forgot that Mohini was in fact Vishnu. And then Shiva goes after, runs after Mohini to seduce, to have, to love her. And here you can see, he is trying to make love with her. And here he is chasing after Mohini. This is another, interesting tale within this tale. All right, I think this may be my last slide. Okay, shall we go? Could you check if this was the last one? Yeah, I think that was the last one. So then we can go back, and any of the slides you can pick and choose, so we can discuss, and spend some time talking about the whole story of Samundramathan, its purpose, its the hidden meaning, and all of that. How Mohini put everyone, in a spellbound situation, that even God Shiva forgot that she was none other than Vishnu, and yet he fell for her. So that is called Maya. Maya makes you forget all the reality, and that's exactly what happened here. All right, Taneswar Bhai, can we jump in with regard to Maya? Now I know you're talking about Maya with Yoga Vasistha. Maybe this could be a kind of prequel for your next talk.
Anyone has questions?
You muted your sound. Could you unmute your sound? No, your sound is muted.
Okay, I thought you had to unmute. Namaste, and my apology for being a bit late. And I had one conference this morning, and I have another conference this evening. I was so tired, I felt I crashed. My apology, that did wonderfully amazing. Just one quick observation, and if time allows, I'll engage later. In though particularly, of course, this is a so stunningly beautiful artwork. My gosh, I've been like engaging with some of these art critic friends who come to meditate with me, and then the rays of color, particularly the artist playing with the blue and green, is the masterpieces to belong to the world class.
They were master artists of the time, I mean, the Raja, Maharaja picked the right artists because they were already, the great artists in the Mughal atelier, Mughal, studios.
Yeah. So one quick note I noticed is this Mohini is actually Bhagwan Vishnu, right? So in those two depictions where she's offering Amrita, there is Bhagwan Vishnu also sitting, like in the crowd of Brahma and Shivaji, Rudra. There is one Vishnu, and then there is also Mohini. So I just thought, okay, well, Bhagwan Vishnu completely turned into Mohini. He just took maybe little aspect of himself and became Mohini, and then also was sitting in the line so he could also enjoy Amrita.
Right. Yes.
So he's both.
Exactly.
You see, when he's Mohini, he's not only Mohini. He's still sitting in the line there.
Right. Exactly. It's a dual, yeah, exactly.
Up there, that you see in between Brahma and Shivaji,
yes.
He's sitting there, and he has already turned into that woman. So he can do it. He can do whatever he likes.
Right. Exactly. That's a great observation. Thank you very much. Yeah, I know he's right there. Any other Observations,
I
any
have
questions?
I have a request.
Yes.
This is Kalpana Satya. When you talk about the churning of the Samundramathan, all the horse, the elephant, all these good things that come out of the Samundramathan, how can you project that into human nature, humanity, characteristics, transformation in that way? How would you be, because you're so good with your words, how would you be able to explain that in that way?
I don't think I understood the questions. I mean, those were
Yes.
good things. I mean, the oddities of nature, a horse with fantastic characteristics, with six heads, with wings that could fly. This is an imaginary, wonderful horse. The white elephant, and the kamadhenu, the wish fulfilling cow. Anything you ask for is like a a Middle Eastern genie that gives you your wish, grants your wish. But the genie, remember, it only grants you 3 wishes, right? But kamadhenu, limitless wishes. It gives you anything you want. So I mean, they were all came from the bottom of the ocean. Now, what way you were talking about projecting, or what was the question?
The question is, how can we use that to mean something like a transformation in a persona, in a personality, in a person, from evilness from not bad necessarily, from evilness or having the weaknesses to become strengths by working hard, kind of.
Right. Okay, I know you know about Siddhi. Obviously, Thane Surji can expand on that. With meditation, we have hundreds of stories where great rishis go into meditation for hundreds of years, and then they gain siddhis, and then with that siddhis you can obtain anything you want. You can also get Indra's throne up there. With even today, I mean, there are a lot of great siddha babas. They can gain a lot of spiritual power, siddhis. So I think that's what it is. I mean, with hard work, with great meditation, great efforts, you could, I think, become that being. And if you want to become like a fast running horse, with a great strength like Airavata Hati, or wishful fulfilling cow, your imagination is limitless. You can be anyone you want. So I don't know whether these are the abilities one can have over yourself, over your mind. I don't know whether that answers your questions,
That
but
answers my question. Thank you
with
very much.
churning, with hard effort, I think you can become, or you can obtain the goal that you are after.
That answers my question. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you. Okay,
I think
go ahead.
Dr. Krishna has something to add into it. I think he raised.
Is it me? Can I add a little bit?
Yes.
Okay,
Please.
thank you. Because this kind of thing comes a couple of times in the class, so I just wanted to share my classroom experience. One way I explain this particular theme is Western culture is broadly, Western meaning Judaism, Christianity, Islam, are dualistic cultures in which that is as a conflict dualism, in which good and evil constantly keep fighting, and then always one guy claims to be good. And then the opposite is called complementary dualism, that there are these two aspects. Of course, one is good, another bad, but they do not need to try to annihilate each other always. They can work together, they can collaborate together. And then this Samundramathan, like yin and yang in Taoism, they do not try to just wipe each other's out. They need each other's too.
Right,
and this God and demon metaphor also explains, at least to me, that there is some kind of complementarity even when we do not like. And then in your personal transformation, we need rajas and tamas also. They are dark gunas in us, our drive. Sometimes We might do something good out of jealousy. Your neighbor is very generous, always, caring and all, and you also want to do something good out of it. So sometimes even the negative emotions can be used for our spiritual progress. That's all I wanted to add. Thank you.
Yeah, that is definitely the case. Yes, in fact, I had a yin and yang line in one of my slides. Yes, that is a complementary opposites. We have to have that. Otherwise, we just cannot have a dichotomy to opposites.
Hazur, Islam, can I add something real quick, Dr. Shimkhada?
Yes.
This is Anup. So I'm not at all schooled in these matters, but from the little of what I understand about the concept of Manthan and what lesson and implications it might have for contemporary humanity, I think one of the key lessons from that to me is that as one churns through life, as we churn to make a living in the economic system, in the political system, there are lots of good things that come out of human churnings of desire, longing, invention. And all of us are very quick and very, content with gaining the good that comes out of these churnings. We rush in and pick up, all of the things that are beneficial for us. But what about the externalities that comes from churning, which is a natural product of churning? So in the case of the classical Manthan, the good things that came out, everybody rushed to get them. Vishnu grabbed hold of Lakshmi, somebody grabbed hold of. So, but it took a Shiva to come and take care of the externalities of the journey, right? So, to me, there always needs to be the willingness on our part to accept that the good that we try to create always brings a backlash of undesirable or externalities. Whether you take that in the environmental issues, we've benefited from having wood, we've benefited from having metals, we've benefited from having fossil fuels, but what about the externalities? We've benefited from nuclear power, for example, and literally in the case of nuclear power, we have